So back in June 2022, we had a listing for a Transformers Legacy Evolution Leader Class Skyquake. We didn't know if it was the Prime version or not. The rumors kind of led in that direction that it was going to be the Transformers Prime version. And then later in August of 2022, we got a listing for a Transformers Legacy Evolution Leader Class Prime Dreadwing figure. So that helped kind of confirm that the Skyquake one that we were getting was probably going to be in relation to the Transformer Prime character. Those two were repaint brothers of each other back in the day, and that was that. Of course, for people that aren't aware of that character connection and why that's important, back in 2012, there was a Voyager Transformers Prime Skyquake figure. It was ridiculously hard to get in the Western market. Had a super limited run, came very late in the lifespan of the Transformers Prime line for that segmentation, and as a result became really expensive in the secondary market. And if you wanted to have a Skyquake version of that character, you had to look at the Legends version or alternatives that were unfortunately not that character in an official capacity. So that was that. And then we have this one here that has showed up, and it brought a lot of excitement to people. I talked about it on the podcast in that individual segment a while back, how that could lead, a good opportunity for people to pick up this character, and potentially also it'll be a much more modernized figure and they could have a version of that character and not have to break the bank over it. Now we have these images today. They come courtesy of the Chinese message boards of Weibo and Baidu. And we have Transformers Legacy Evolution Leader Class Prime Skyquake in all his visual form. Tons of amazing photos, tons of stuff going on here showing what's going on, but there is a lot going on here to talk about. And that's why, like on the Saturday Night live stream that just passed, I mentioned it briefly, but I said to you guys, I want to save this for one of the big visual segments for the podcast and really break down what's going on here, because there is a lot to talk about. And that's why I kind of just glazed over it quickly on Saturday. So what's going on here? There's a lot going on here. First, let's talk about what we're seeing at face value before we get into the deeper stuff. So this is a leader class Transformers Prime Skyquake based off of, again, that original Transformers Prime character. Depending on how you transform the robot mode, you kind of have a little bit of an emulation of what that original character model was from Transformers Prime. Looks pretty good. I like how it makes a strong effort to really match that. Again, doing what all the Transformer Legacy toys have been doing up to this point in relation to Transformer Prime, which was kind of, I guess we'll say, G1ifying them. So what we've already had in the past with the other characters, this is another case of that. And I haven't seen a lot of people complaining about it because it came out pretty well. Looks really good. And, when you do a little, twists and turns and parts with his alt mode, you start to see what else this was intended for outside of just the Prime Jet brothers that we were just talking about. There's, again, a lot going on. But first, let's talk about the figure. So, looks really good. Great articulation. I love how the posing works. I love that he comes with his trademark chain gun that came with the original toy, along with his sword that came with the original 2012 toy. So, it's nice that those are both maintained properly. It's cool that in jet mode, the cockpit opens up. Really nice touch. Doesn't have to do that, but it's always cool when they do that for extra detail and veneering of the surface. I love what they did here. Looks really good. Great articulation. Nice sculpt. I love the face sculpt. I love what they did there. An amazing attempt at that character. But again, when you look at all of that sculpting and how other pieces could be switched around and kind of moved with the shoulders and everything, the shoulder covers, there's clearly something baked in here on the back end for this character for other repaints, retools, and everything for the future. Where do I even begin? So when you look at his chest, when you look at his chest detail and the overall silhouette of both the alt mode and the robot mode, you start to see another character. Another Skyquake, actually, but not the Transformer Prime Skyquake. The original Generation 1 1992 Predator Skyquake figure. That was originally only available in Canada, Europe, and Australia, and he was just this big figure that had a whole bunch of cool stuff going on with him. And by having it be that character, that opens up the doors to a whole bunch of other stuff in relation to that. Not to mention, stuff was recently discovered on the sculpting of this brand new Legacy Evolution Leader Class Skyquake that kind of corroborates that even more, in that there's some sculpting on it that it has some kind of interaction with the recent Legacy Needle Nose figure. So let's get into that. So again, first of all, what is Generation 1 Skyquake? Well, Generation 1 Skyquake, like I said, was a Predator figure. Along with Stalker was another Predator. I know these names. I apologize for that, but they were very crazy names. So you had two of the Predators. You had Stalker and you had Skyquake. They had a gimmick where the 4 other Predator jet members from the Decepticons could attach to the top of them and put this little slide gimmick where you could kind of look through a viewing scope and see these little action scenes and stuff. So all these little 4 jets could be attached onto the top of Skyquake, and you get a little viewing thing and everything like that. Now, when you see those images, and I'll post them obviously on the screen here, when you look at the Legacy Evolution Skyquake, this one here, it's based off of the Prime design, it has these 2 little notches on them that you could attach your Needle Nose Legacy figure, which also has the notches, and they attach on top, which kind of mimics that of the original Generation 1 Predator gimmick. So that's very fascinating that that exists. So that opens up a whole doorway to a lot of stuff, because then that says, does this mean we're going to be getting a G1 Skyquake at some point? Or is there going to be a repaint retool? And if there is a repaint retool into a G1 Skyquake, maybe just a new head sculpt, and maybe, who knows what they'll do from that. But then that opens up the doorway to other repaints. Maybe we might get a Machine Wars Starscream repaint out of it, which G1 Skyquake came from. Maybe even the even more obscure Universe 1.0 King Atlas repaint, which was kind of like a half kind of Diatlas homage back in the Universe 1.0 days. Kind of the first Diatlas figure we ever got technically in the Western market, if you really want to think about it. Maybe a way to do the trademark too. So that's kind of crazy when you think about it. And then, you go like, oh my goodness, so this mold is going to give us the Transformers Prime Skyquake. It's going to give us G1 Skyquake. It's going to give us Machine Wars Starscream. It's going to give us Universe 1.0 King Atlas. It's going to give us the Prime Dreadwing repaint, his brother. And then on top of all that, potentially repainting and retooling Needle Nose into maybe one of the Predator members. Maybe Talon kind of seems to match up well there, that he transforms into Talon, and can be also attached on top of that G1 Skyquake repaint we might get out of it. There's a lot going on here. And then that begs the question, is there going to be the other 3 jets of the Predators? Are we going to get 4 deluxe jets that are based off of the Predators maybe to work with this? Those 4 jets, are they going to be repainted into maybe 4 other jets that seem to be part of a combiner team, if you know what I mean? Maybe I'm digging too much into this, but that's kind of why I wanted to talk about this individually, because there's a lot going on here that is very interesting. So let me know what you think. I think this looks great. I'm really excited about it just because of what we could potentially get afterwards, and seeing that it has that interaction with Needle Nose tells me that there is something else going on here. So let me know what you think. This is very exciting, and I hope you guys took something from this, because man, there's something coming in the future for sure.